The Vision is the dumbest group of all time. Everything about them is cringe, and the way it started was dumb. Everything is bad about it. Okay, let's start with WrestleMania last year. So the main event of night one was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And everybody was wondering who's going to win the match and who is Paul Heyman going to side with. Well, it turns out that Paul Heyman was going to side with Seth Rollins, not Roman Reigns, who he was Roman's wise man, or his longtime friend CM Punk. No, he's going to side with Seth Rollins, and Rollins gets the win. Now, Rollins needed that win because Roman didn't need it, Punk didn't need it. Rollins has always been booked as somebody who is just below the level of the guys who are going to be viewed as legends forever. You know, Rollins always loses to, people like Cody Rhodes, people like CM Punk. I don't think he's lost to Roman Reigns one-on-one yet, but that may be coming at some point. But still, Rollins needed the win. Okay, he gets the win, and Paul Heyman aligns with him. You know what would have been better? They should have just had Paul Heyman and Rollins together with nobody else. Like the way Heyman was with Brock Lesnar and Heyman was with CM Punk at one point. There was no stable. There was no group of guys with them. That might have been something interesting, and that might have worked, but we'll never know because they started a group called The Vision. And the idea of Seth Rollins being the leader of a group with this wacky visionary character, it just doesn't work because, why would other guys who are not wacky and flamboyant and crazy like Rollins is, why would they want to team up with this weird guy? The whole thing seems awkward and forced. Like when you look at Evolution, Ric Flair, Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, when you see those four together, it kind of makes sense, right? Ric Flair is the past, Triple H is the present, Randy Orton's the future, Batista is the muscle, and, Batista is looked at as the fourth most important member of the group, and then he becomes the breakout star and faces Triple H at WrestleMania, wins the title. The fans were super behind him. It was crazy. It was cool. And Batista became a very cool character. If you look at the Bloodline, okay, because that's the last time they had a stable in the WWE that was actually well done. They put a lot of effort into that and it paid off. I just remember the Bloodline coming out in, I believe it was 2022. It was before that match between Roman and Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia. They come out all together in Salt Lake City. Roman Reigns, the Usos, and this is at the time when they have all the belts, and Solo Sikoa, Sami Zayn, Paul Heyman, all these guys come out, and I look at them during their entrance, and I'm like, this is the most special thing WWE has done, and the coolest thing they've done, probably in more than a decade. The last time they did something that cool was CM Punk fighting for the WWE Championship on the night that his contract expires at Money in the Bank in Chicago in 2011. That was the last time WWE did something that cool. So when you look at the Bloodline stable, it really seems like WWE was like, that Bloodline thing worked. Let's try something with Seth Rollins like that. And it was a bad idea from the start. Because, again, Rollins, if he had changed his character somewhat to be more serious and stop wearing the ridiculous outfits, and so we could take the group seriously, maybe it would have worked, but no. Then they add in Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Now, okay, Bron Breakker, I don't know why people are always saying, oh, this guy's ready for the main event. This guy can be a world champion. I mean, yes, he's fine in the ring. He's fine on the microphone. But these days, they protect the world championship in terms of, they're really careful about who they give it to. I mean, if you notice, they don't really have world champions that are out of nowhere. Remember when Vince McMahon was around, Jinder Mahal was world champion. Sheamus randomly won the world title when he beat John Cena in a tables match, which no one anticipated was going to happen. Like, things like that happened back then. That's not going to happen now. There's too much money at stake. They're doing big business, and they got to be careful about who they put that title on. Like, think about who they took a chance on within the past few years. They took a chance on Jey Uso, and very quickly he lost that title right back to Gunther, because, you know, Jey Uso, he's a great character, great entrance, sells merchandise, but in the ring, he's not world champion level in the ring. And then they also took a chance on Damian Priest. Again, he was not booked as a strong champion either, and he also lost the title to Gunther. So, I mean, Gunther is the safe choice, right? I mean, Damian Priest, again, he's a good character. He's good on the mic. In the ring, nothing special. I can't remember any amazing matches that Damian Priest has had. So, these days, WWE typically goes with the safe choices. You got Gunther, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins occasionally, but they're real careful about who they give that title to. So, you think they're just going to give it to Bron Breakker? In my opinion, Obafemi is more ready for a world title than Bron Breakker. And even with Obafemi, I don't think they should just hand it to him so quickly. And obviously, Jacob Fatu, he's definitely ready for a world title, but I don't think he should get it yet either. He should have more struggle to get there. He hasn't been here that long, even though he's great, but still, he should have a long story to get to that world title run. And I'm sure that's coming for him. But, okay, so you have Bron Breakker, which, you know, whatever. And then you have Bronson Reed, who, again, he's fine in the ring. But, you know, as a character, I guess they tried to make him interesting by having him steal Roman Reigns' sneakers and then wrap them around his neck and call it the Shula Fala and call him the tribal thief. And like, they're trying to make him interesting, but it's like, you know, it seems a little forced there. Again, it just looks like such a ragtag group right from the beginning. Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker. It's just like a bunch of random people thrown together. Okay. Then later on, obviously Rollins' injuries cause him to get kicked out of the group. And then they add in Logan Paul and Austin Theory. And, okay, it's like, I guess you could say that, I mean, WWE probably thinks Logan Paul is going to be a world champion, maybe not anytime soon, but sometime in the future. Okay. And Austin Theory is a guy who I don't know, he can't get anything going. I don't know how many years WWE has been trying all different sorts of things with this guy. He used to be the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, if you remember that. I know a lot of people forget because the guy didn't cash in on a world champion. He cashed in on Seth Rollins, I believe, when he was U.S. champion. And it didn't work. So it's like, I think it was for Rollins or somebody. I don't even remember. It's like, Austin Theory is like, just, when you look at him, it's like, gosh, how many, you know, failed attempts have they tried to get this guy to the top level, and it just never works. His matches aren't interesting. The way he wrestles isn't interesting. I mean, on the microphone, I mean, he probably might be capable of more, but, you know, it's just, we haven't seen it yet. So, okay. And Logan Paul, again, it's just, he's a guy who, yes, we know how athletic he is. And yes, he can talk on the mic too. But again, it's just like, there's really no reason to invest, I guess, interest into this group. And then they all get injured. That was the other thing. Seth Rollins got injured. Bron Breakker got injured. Bronson Reed got injured. Now Logan Paul is injured. I think the only one who hasn't been injured is Austin Theory. So it's like, Austin Theory can't carry the vision. I mean, it's just, anyway, the whole thing is depressing. This group sucks, and it should have never happened. And Seth Rollins really needs to, like, come back with a brand new gimmick or something. Well, I shouldn't say come back. He was on Raw I think he had a match against Montez Ford for some reason. Why? It's like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what WWE is doing these days, but anytime the Vision was on the show, or like I saw a clip online, like I would just ignore it because I don't care about that group. Remember? And then they did the whole thing with, oh, there's some mystery person in the group who's curb stomping people. Oh, it's Seth Rollins. It's Seth Rollins. And then Seth comes back and they have all these masked people coming in and out of the ring. That was so dumb. Oh my goodness. I mean, everything they've done with this group is dumb. There was nothing interesting they ever did. And it's basically running on fumes at this point. I wish WWE would just end it. Just forget it. You know, it's like, you should have just had Paul Heyman with Seth and maybe revitalize Seth's career. And it just didn't happen that way. But yeah, this is the worst stable I've seen. I mean, like, when Damage Control, that's Bayley's group from a couple of years ago with Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and then eventually Asuka and Kairi Sane. Like, when that group was together, I was sort of like, you know, they were all getting beat up all the time. They were like losing all their feuds and matches. And I was like, wow, this might be one of the worst groups. You know, it's like, it's funny because like you would think strength in numbers, they would be able to like get all the titles and, you know, and they did win championships here and there, but it's like, they were like, Bayley was the leader of the group and she was like losing all the time. And I was like, wow, this is not good for Bayley's career to have a stable where they're losing all the time. And I was like, this is one of the worst groups in WWE history. And then the Vision comes along and I'm like, wow, this is a million times worse. You're actually, I think, hurting the careers of Seth, Bron, Bronson, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. You're hurting them by putting them in this group. Oh my goodness. It's just, and then Becky Lynch was in there briefly. Oh boy, and she's annoying. And I don't mean annoying like, oh, she's a good heel. No, she's annoying because it's like, she tries way too hard to be a heel, so it all comes off as phony and makes me want to change the channel. I know Becky says, oh, she likes being a heel. It's like, you're not making us hate you, you're making us not want to watch. But anyway, I have nothing positive to say about the Vision. This group should have never been created. It should be over. I don't want to ever see those group of people together ever again. And Seth has to really stop with this whole wacky visionary character. I never liked it. You know, basically the whole gimmick is based around people singing his theme song. And the theme song is popular, but he is just sort of he's just running, his career is just like, ugh. You know, the last time Seth Rollins was amazing was 2015. That's when I really liked Seth Rollins, because he was great on the mic, he was a great character, he was interesting. And even in 2014 when he was Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and then cashes in at WrestleMania, becomes world champion. I enjoyed his world title run. That was when Seth Rollins was great. Then he gets injured, and to be honest, he hasn't really done anything interesting since then. Yes, he's had good matches, but you know, from a storyline standpoint, nothing. And then the Vision just killed him even further. So I don't know, that guy has to do something big to, you know, remind people that he's not, you know, a B+ player. You know, like that he really is on the same level as the Roman Reigns and the CM Punks and the, you know, it's like people view him as like one level below that. And I don't know, he's got to do something. Anyway, the Vision sucks.